All right, we're going down to item 5F, approval for board members, staff, and travel to attend the AADB meeting, October the 19th through the 20th of 2019 in Las Vegas, Nevada. As of today, the board has received confirmation that the following board members and staff will be attending the AADB meeting. Ms. Jones Sadler? Yes. Betty Pate?
Yes.
Yes.
Yvonne Bethea? Yes. Dr. Sanders?
Yes.
Dr. Lee?
Yes.
Dr. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Schaefer?
Yes.
Ms. Melanie?
Yes.
I mean, Ms. Chapman? Okay. All right, so then it looks like, so the board member that's requiring travel is Ms. Sadler, is that correct? Joan? That you're requiring
Yeah.
travel?
I'm sorry?
That you're the only board member that's requiring traveling, correct? Because you're coming down from Reno.
Yes, I believe so.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve everybody attending the above names? Approval of the board members and staff traveling to the meeting?
So move Sanders.
Second?
Sadler?
Any discussion?
Isn't it till the 21st?
No, it's only 2 days.
I thought on Monday they were going to have all the different board committees speak. Web and
Monday's something
ADEX and,
else. Yeah, I think it's for
yeah,
those.
there's a whole bunch of people talking.
And I can speak only, this is Sanders, speaking only historically, is when they elect new officers, they'll have a new board meeting on Monday of those officers. But I think all the other stuff
It was
is,
like for extra committees or
I
something.
remember looking at the things,
It's not for every-
trying to decide if I was going to take Monday off to
Not
see
for
the
every-
different
it's not for
boards.
yeah, I don't think, yeah. I know it's not for me, but
Okay.
let me see if I can.
So,
We have a motion.
so all in favor, say aye to the approval of the people?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
Aye.
all right. Motion, and any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. The next item, Dr. Sanders has to read.
Yes. The president has turned it over to me because this pertains to her. We have district representatives to ADEX. I am the dental one. We also have them to REB. And ADEX is, I don't know exactly how many states there are in District 2. I think it's 5, but it rotates positions. And this year for the dental hygiene position, it's our state's opportunity to appoint a dental hygienist to do it. It really pertains to one meeting that's done in August of the ADEX group in Chicago. At this point, Dr. Yvonne Bethea has expressed an interest in it. I mean, hygienist Yvonne Bethea.
There's 12
Yeah.
states in District 2, Alaska,
12.
Arizona, Colorado, Hawaii, Idaho, Montana, Nevada, New Mexico, Oregon, Utah, Washington, and Wyoming.
So we have an opportunity once every 12 years to appoint somebody as a dental hygienist representative to them. So I would like to entertain any kind of a motion that anybody would like to make to have Ms. Bethea appointed to that position.
I move Pate.
Ms. Pate? A second?
Sadler?
We had like 3 seconds. Who would like to be the second?
Sadler.
Pisani. Oh, that, I heard you. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Done. Thank you. I'd like to turn the gavel back to the president.
All right, oh, that's yours.
That one. Wrong one.
All right, we're going down to
H.
item 5H. Pursuant to NRS 631.385 and NAC 631.270, 3, appoint an agent of the board to conduct investigation into deceased dentist practice to ensure compliance with the statutes and/or regulations. Dr. Chance Hayter and Dr. James Whalen, pursuant to NRS 631.385, a practice of a dentist who passes away may be owned and/or operated by the surviving member for a period of 2 years. The board shall appoint a representative/agent to investigate the dental practice to ensure compliance. Does any board member have anyone who would like to appoint to investigate these dental practices to ensure compliance? Making note of that, I want to move back to what we talked about earlier, because we approved Dr. Hall as a part-time investigator, so we could suggest that he be the
Board agent.
board agent as a part-time investigator of this. Do we have a motion?
I move to appoint Dr. Hall as the board agent to supervise these practices.
Second, Blasco.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye. Lee.
Any abstentions?
Only because he can't be there by a pre, or abstain.
And
No, not an aye. That's what confuses me.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I, no. Sorry.
And we're gonna do a roll call on that.
Okay. 5H. So I have the motion by Dr. Sanders. I have the second by Dr. Blasco. And this is to approve Dr. Hall as the agent to investigate whether Dr. Hyder and Dr. Whalen's practices are running in compliance. Dr. Pinther,
Yes.
Dr. Blasco,
Yes.
Dr. Champagne,
Yes.
Dr. Pisani, Dr. Pisani?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Sanders,
Yes.
Dr. Moore,
No.
Dr. Lee,
No.
Miss Pate,
Yes.
Mrs. Bethea,
Yes.
Miss Shadler,
Yes.
and Miss Chofi.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, moving down to item 5I. Request the board issue a subpoena ducis tecum signed by the board's president, treasurer.
No. Secretary Treasurer.
Secretary, sorry, getting late. Request the board issue a subpoena ducis
Ducis tecum.
Deuces
Tecum.
Tecum.
ducis tecum signed by the board's secretary treasurer to Dr. S. Dr. S has refused to provide the board with
Redacted.
redacted patient records in connection with an authorized investigative complaint approved by the board and in violation of NRS 629.061. Do we have a motion?
This is the time I will be.
Do we have a second?
Pate seconds.
Any discussion?
Or I humbly request that the board consider tabling and or further discussion these sorts of legal things that have come up in the audit that question our process and who subpoenas are issued by and for. I know we talked about it briefly. I just counsel everybody to please consider what we're faced with and to make sure that we have better oversight than what was had. Thank you.
In that, it said that the part about, let me go back to what I read. So the licensee is not complying with the statutes and regulations regarding the request for patient dental records during an investigation. So the board previously authorized the board previously authorized the board's secretary treasurer to sign subpoenas upon board approval. We did that a few meetings ago. Do we have a motion?
Remember at that same, and remember, Ms. Buffet, at that same meeting, that we were doing that, quote, until.
We're doing that what? I'm sorry, I didn't.
Say that one more time.
I said that we discussed that and we okayed it as a temporary measure, if you all recall.
The temporary measure for what?
Temporary measure until we were able to discuss the regulations pertaining to that.
Which we tried to do last
last
Friday.
week.
And we got
Didn't
through
get
4.
there. So,
So that's what he's asking.
so the temporary measure is still in place.
Well, I didn't say vote against it. I said, I made a request to the board to please consider things, that's all.
Okay. I mean,
I second that motion.
I think the
Point-
board just
point-
needs to remember that you're here to protect the public.
It's a point of
So
order.
the
We
pub-
already have a motion moved and seconded. We can't introduce another motion until the primary motion is dealt with.
either
So-
dealt with, voted on, or withdrawn, whichever,
So,
Withdraw.
however,
so
well,
they're
Well,
the
gonna
person who
go.
made it has to withdraw
That would
it,
be Dr. Pisani.
if he wishes to do so.
So going back, so Dr. Persani, you have a motion to approve the subpoena by the board secretary treasurer.
Here.
Second,
Pate,
Pete seconded.
and we already had the discussion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye, Lee.
More.
You do a roll call?
And any abstentions? We're gonna do roll call, motion passes.
So this is regarding agenda item SI. There was a motion by Dr. Pisani and seconded by Ms. Pate for the issuance of a subpoena tecum signed by the board secretary treasurer to Dr. S. And the roll call, or the motion, Dr. Pinther,
Yes.
Dr. Blasco,
Yes.
Dr. Champagne,
Yes.
Dr. Pisani, Dr. Sanders,
Yes.
Dr. Moore?
No.
No? Okay, I wasn't sure. Dr. Lee,
No.
Ms. Pate,
yes.
Mrs. Bethea,
Yes.
Ms. Shadler,
Yes.
and Ms. Chovy.
Yes.
Motion passes.
So we're going down to item 5J, request the board issue a subpoena ducis tecum signed by the board secretary treasurer to Dr. Z. Dr. Z has refused at the request of the board to submit a copy of patient records in connection with an authorized investigative complaint approved by the board and in violation of NRS 629.061. The licensee is not complying with the statutes and regulations regarding requests for the patient's dental records during investigation. The board previously authorized the board secretary treasurer to sign subpoenas upon board approval. Do we have a motion for 5J to request for the secretary treasurer for Dr. Z?
Move to approve Blasco.
Second,
I can follow.
discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
An-
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye, Lee.
More.
And any abstentions? Roll call and motion passes.
Do you want a roll call? I'm
Yes,
sorry.
please.
This is,
Okay, so this is for item S, J as in John. And the motion was made by Dr. Blasco, and it was seconded by Ms. Shadler. And this is to approve the issuance of subpoena ducis tecum, and it's Dr. Pinther,
Yes.
Dr. Blasco,
Yes.
Dr. Champagne,
Yes.
Dr. Pisani. Dr. Pisani?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Sanders,
Yes.
Dr. Moore,
No.
Dr. Lee,
No.
Ms. Pate,
Yes.
Mrs. Bethea,
Yes.
Ms. Shadler,
Yes.
and Ms. Chofi.
Yes.
Motion passes.
We're going now down to item 5K, approval to seek order to compel and show cause and/or order of contempt pursuant to NRS 631.366 regarding Dr. X's failure to comply with the subpoena ducis tecum approved and issued by the board. This licensee has failed to comply with the subpoena ducis tecum previously approved by the board. General Counsel is requesting the board approve Ms. Chapman to seek an order to compel, show cause, and/or order of contempt in district court. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve Pisani.
Second?
Pate seconds.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed? Okay. Any opposed?
More.
Aye.
Any abstention? Any abstentions? We're gonna do roll call again, and motion passes.
5K, motion was made by Dr. Pisani, seconded by Ms. Pate. This is to approve, to seek an order to compel, show cause, and/or of contempt pursuant to NRS 631.366. Dr. Pinther,
Yes.
Dr. Blasco,
Yes.
Dr. Champagne,
Yes.
Dr. Pisani,
Yes.
Dr. Sanders,
Yes.
Dr. Moore,
No.
Dr. Lee,
No.
Ms. Pate,
Yes.
Mrs. Bethea,
Yes?
Ms. Shadler,
Yes.
and Ms. Chofi.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Going down to item 5L, approval of public health endorsement, NRS 631.287 for Diana Limbach, RDH, Healthy Smile Healthy Child Program. This is an application for public health endorsement. Dr. Sanders reviewed the application
Yes.
and is requesting board approval. Do we have a motion?
Pate moves approval. Moves approval.
Second?
Saba.
Any discussion? Any opposed? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion. Pisani, you're abstaining?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion passes. And now we're going down to item
M.
M, approval of anesthesia permanent permit, NAC 631.2233 for general anesthesia. We'll just take them as a group. Dr. Karimi and Dr. Nicholson. These applications have been reviewed by Dr. Moore and Dr. Sanders.
I recommend to the board that these are granted, the general anesthesia permits granted for Dr. Carey and Nicholson.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Did Dr. Moore make the motion?
Dr. Moore, are you making the motion for approval, right?
Can't.
Yes.
He
I don't
can't.
think he
You
can.
can't,
He can't.
because you're on the anesthesia committee.
No, he reviewed the
because he
application.
Reviewed the
Because you
applications.
review the applications, right, thank you.
Yes, abstain.
So he and I
So
can't
you
do
have,
the
to-
motion.
you and Dr. Sanders have to abstain.
Move to approve Blasco.
Second, Chapa.
Any discussion?
Johnson have to do anything with general anesthesia?
All in favor, say
Or just
aye.
with the evaluations?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed?
He hasn't, historically, it's the chair.
Any abstentions?
Yeah, Sanders.
Moore.
So, yep, so Moore and Sanders, abstentions, And then, motion passes. So we're gonna go down to moderate sedation, pediatric specialty, take them as a group. Dr. Ingersoll and Dr. Purcell. And again, these applications have been reviewed by Dr. Moore and Dr. Sanders, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Motion, do we have a motion to approve?
Chadwick, motion to approve moderate sedation
Second?
for Dr. Joseph.
Second?
Pate seconds.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye. Aye.
And we have the abstentions of Dr. Sanders and Dr. Moore.
Correct.
Motion passes. Going down to 5N, approval of anesthesia temporary permit, NAC 631.2233, general anesthesia for Dr. Patel. And these have been, applications have been reviewed by Dr. Moore and Dr. Sanders, correct?
Yes.
Motion, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve Blasco.
Second?
Secondly.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed?
Aye.
And abstentions, Moore and
Sanders.
Sanders. Motion passes. Going down to N2, moderate sedation, pediatric specialty. Take them as a group. Dr. Pearson and Dr. Patel. And both applications have been reviewed by Dr. Moore and Dr. Sanders. And do we have a motion?
Motion to approve Blasco.
Secondly.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any abstentions? Dr. Moore and Dr. Sanders
Yes.
are abstained, and motion passes. Now we're gonna go to item 5O, approval of a 90-day extension of anesthesia permit, NAC 631.2254, subsection 2, moderate sedation, patients 13 years of age and older. And we're, just one, Dr. Bentoncourt. Do we have a motion?
Don't move the time.
Second?
Blasco.
Chadwick.
Okay. Discussion? Abstentions are Dr. Moore and Dr. Sanders. Any others? All right, motion passes.
Here's vote.
Vote.
Oh, sorry.
All those in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Moore and Sanders, and then motion passes. Okay. We're going to item 5P, approve the Committee on Public Health, NRS 631.190. We're going to go back to that. So we're going to the board members. There's 2 board members, Betty Pate, board member, Dr. Lee, Dr. Prasani, which is up north, board member, Dr. Kapora, who is the state dental health officer, Dr. Taylor, and we have Terry Chandler, hygienist, representing the public health. And then we would have one vacant spot that we were saving that for recommending to the board that we give that to the Nevada State Oral Health Hygienist, to the Committee on Public Health, once the position is filled. Right now, it's just a position that they're looking for somebody. Again, that would be the position would be with the Nevada State Oral Health Hygienist. So we'd like to approve the Committee on Public Health, NRS 631.190. Do we have a motion?
I'll move we approve the committee, but I think we have to do some discussion too now.
After it's seconded.
Second. So we have a motion. We do have a motion to approve by Ms. Pate. We need a second.
Chadwick,
Now discussion.
There's a couple things. I think Dr. Lee had a question about what Committee on Public Health was.
Right.
What
So
public
that,
health
right.
was?
So the public health was the one we had talked about where Dr. Kapora was here, because coming down the pike, as Dr. Taylor had said, about the dental therapists, the teledentistry, and all of that. So we'd want to form a committee so we could discuss all the rules and regulations coming down the pike. And that's why we had talked about that at that last meeting with Dr. Kapora, who is the state
Sanders, a
dental health
question.
officer.
I thought Dr. Lee's question was, what is public health?
Correct. What
Yeah.
exactly, what is public health?
I mean, the short definition is it's that part of,
Let's look it up on, let's ask the dictionary.
well, it deals with populations rather than individual patients. That's probably it in a nutshell. It deals with epidemiology and the spread of diseases in populations.
Access to care.
Well, I mean, some of these emails we got, I guess.
That's why we're making them part of it.
Well, there's also discussion about the president of
I mean, it seems like
NDHA.
everyone wants to be included.
How many people can be on a committee?
That's why
Well, I know the tribals had asked, but they're
Yeah.
federal, so they're not necessary. I don't know if they are,
They're
but
not
like,
in our
they're not
terms.
under our
And we can't
umbrella.
really make regulations that regulate the federal or the tribal
Well, we can only,
access to care issues. Now, I know that the statute states that the dental therapists can be employed on the federal lands or whatnot, and I forgive me, I don't recall the exact language right now, but that doesn't mean that we can regulate what our licensed dental therapist does, but we can't regulate the tribes.
what they do on the tribal area.
Correct. When
I
you're on
understand
tribal
that.
land, you don't fall under our.
Right. But my question was, can we put on the hygiene president, who happens to be from the north?
and that is who?
I think what's her name? I can't pronounce her last name. What's her name?
Lincecum?
No, not her.
Not an Ed.
Think of Lancet, then Gilbert.
Lancet.
Lancett's not the president,
She's not the
she's the
president
legislative chairperson. I think currently Karen Soley is the president for the state, and she's
Right.
stepping down. I believe Antonio, and I can't think of his last name, is the incoming president.
He's the male that's but he's in North, right?
He's from Southern Nevada, I
Right.
believe.
Mhm.
And I'm speaking
Point
for
of
the audience, I
information,
shouldn't be speaking.
Okay.
I apologize.
Structures of committees of this board, is there a requirement that the majority membership be board members?
No.
No.
There's only actually one committee in statute that's required that the board have, and that's the Committee on Dental Hygiene.
Right.
Any of these other committees that the board develops or subcommittees, you determine who sits on those committees.
Okay. I just didn't know if there's anything obligatory.
I mean, would anyone be opposed if we just left the board members and took out the public and then just have an open meeting and everyone just had the ability to have input on there?
The reason why we had talked about it, Doctor, is the Committee on Public Health was because when they were here, we were talking about the access to health
Right.
with Dr. Kapoor, so that she could do the silver diamond, and then so we wanted it to be fair across the board. I mean, be fair to everybody to have input, because again, the legislation is going to go through new rules and new regulations through NRS and,
Right.
you know, NAC.
So everyone can have their say.
Right, exactly. So that's why we had,
So
we had Betty Pate on here, who was a previous professor, has long-term public health and masters and all that. But so we put a board member, Betty Pate, hygienist. We put you, board member, Dr. Lee, because you had some concerns. Up north, we had Dr. Prasani. Then we had the state dental health officer, which we were gonna put the Nevada State oral health hygienist also, but the position is vacant right now because that person had moved out of town. So we want to put that person in that spot also. That's why that is still vacant until they fill that position with somebody. Then we've had Dr. Taylor, of course, and then of course Public Health Representative Miss Terry Chandler, and then that was it, to sit and talk. And that was the committee. That's the committee of the Public Health.
So the committee cannot take any action.
Right.
The committee can make suggestions, they can make recommendations, but it will still be left to the full board for whatever action will need
And
to
then
be
the
taken.
public can come and speak.
Well,
Absolutely. Right. So there's like when you guys, right, and they are. And then so what I'm saying to you, so when last week, Friday, you guys had the legislation committee, subcommittee meeting or whatever, remember? That's what we need this committee, public health, to kind of talk about all the legislation.
Well, I think Betty, like Betty said, you could always add
You can add
the
another-
hygienist from the Nevada Dental Hygiene Association.
So I've already reached out to them and asked them if they want to be part of it. They can contact, right, so I contacted them, and then they will contact Betty if they would like to come when we have a committee on public health, and they can come to the meeting.
And also, the committee meeting will be subject to the open meeting laws, so anybody from the public will be able to come to the committee meeting, as well as to any board meeting or workshop at which any suggested regulations are discussed. So this actually just gives the public an additional opportunity to come.
And the reason why some of the public health, like Terry Chandler and Dr. Kapoor, is because they work in a setting that isn't in private practice. There may be things when you're doing your rulemaking that you're not considering that they may assist with.
So the committee is just to talk
I
about.
don't know who they are, so I'm not saying that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Right, so it's just for us to come up with because the board has to pass the legislations, you remember that part, right? Okay. All right, so let's go to approve the Committee on Public Health.
I still have a question.
I have more. I still a couple questions. Are we still on discussion?
Yes?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm sorry, did I miss a public member that would be appointed to the committee? Is there a public member of this committee that you're reserving a spot for?
It's not a public, it's the state, I don't know what the exact title is, but Dr. Capurro is the state dental health officer. There's also a state
Oral health hygienist.
hygienist position that works with Dr. Capurro that that position is currently vacant. So they are talking about reserving a spot for that person when that position gets filled.
Would that person be from the north, Pate speaking?
I have no idea.
We don't know.
Whoever applies.
Whoever gets hired.
It's on the website for the state. The person that just originally had it was in the north, and they moved out of state.
I know. But one of the complaints was that there weren't enough people from the north.
Right, so all these 3 people, we're gonna call, and they're invited to come.
To the meeting, but
Yes.
not to be on the committee, right?
If the ones in the north would like to be on the committee, we can ask the board to vote them on the committee. But right now, we were voting for these to be approved on the Public Health Committee. We're gonna contact these over here that
They can
sent
be
us.
added.
Add one of
If
them.
you
And we
wanna
can add one of
Or
them.
consider one of them
Right.
right now.
Or
So that-
can you vote to add one of these people, whichever one?
Here you go.
Or do you want to select a specific one? I think you could
Are those
probably
all
do
from up
either.
north? I'm not sure.
Yeah, so to move forward, so we're not so we can move forward with the meeting, but more importantly, so we don't have to table it, so we don't have to have another meeting. So we have on the table, from up north, Lisette Van Guler, which is Legislative Chair of Nevada Dental Hygienists Association. Last name VanGuilder. And then we have hygienist Karen Soley, who was on the phone earlier. And then we also have hygienist Patty Sanford. She's from Reno also. So,
Terry?
Sandra's here, could I make a suggestion? I don't like even numbered committees, but I'm gonna recommend we have one. It's hard if you have tie votes, if you have an even number on a committee. I know that personally from operation, but I would like to have a structure of this committee that is not annoying or offensive to anybody, but it engages all the appropriate communities. I agree that the federals are a separate issue and need to be taken out. We don't have any authority there. But I do think if we have the executive director of the Nevada Dental Association, we should have the executive director of the Dental Hygiene Association.
Right,
To me,
correct.
that's a balance that should be there.
I agree.
And I think that person should be in addition to the state dental, what's it called, the oral health?
Dental hygienist.
Dental hygienist. I think that person needs to be there. That would give us 4 hygienists, 4 dentists, and hopefully get a little better distribution. I don't know where the unknowns are regionally, but I don't think it's that important.
Is the dental hygienist that you're suggesting, is there any chance that that person is from a rural area?
I have no idea.
May I approach the board?
yes.
Yes, please.
Please.
And let me go on record by saying, the other,
Of any of us.
I just want to go on record real quick on Sarah. Sarah is Sarah, who's a hygienist, Mercer, Mercier. She's the South.
So,
Go ahead, Miss Terry
For the
Chandler.
record, I'm Terry Chandler. I'm the founder and executive director of Future Smiles. As we're speaking about all of this, I appreciate the board is wanting to consider having someone from the Dental Hygienists Association. When you ask about the executive director, that's Andy Irons, but Andy is in Southern Nevada. And I wouldn't say Andy's background is in public health. Sarah Mercer is the current president.
Right.
Jessica Woods is the incoming president. And Jessica's a very interesting dental hygienist. Her background is she's from California. She has an RDHAP. She's already been through the training for silver diamine fluoride and an IRT placement through California. So her retroprov is much more broader than a lot of us, and she has her master's degree in public health from AT Still. So even though she is from Southern Nevada, Jessica has actually an interesting background that would be helpful to this public health committee. You could also...
I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm a little confused. This is Ms. Chandler speaking right now?
This is Ms. Chandler, Dr. Moore.
Hi, Ms. Chandler. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I didn't mean to cut you off. Is public comment allowed when we're discussing agenda items like this? I'm not trying to be rude,
Yes.
but
The board
asks for her.
The board may ask for the public to comment. And the board may accept public comment.
If they ask.
So we can have public comment all the way through our,
Actually, it's up to the chair of the board. It's up to Ms. Bethea.
So Dr. Moore, the reason why,
just say it.
so I hear you. Hold on, Dr. Moore. So Dr. Moore, the reason why we had Cherry come up to speak is because one, Dr. Lee had a question about public health. What is public health? She can do that better than I can do it to explain it. And two, she's on the committee that we had talked about previously to have the
She's
committee.
not on the committee, folks. We haven't even approved the committee.
Right, but she was there.
Good Lord. I hate to be, you know, the sounding board here for everybody, but listen to what you're doing. Okay? And secondly, is there any conflict that any of these members have with anybody else that's suggested on this committee? Like, is anybody personal friends with anybody that's been suggested here? Is there anybody on the board that's personal friends with any of these suggested people? Because I'm telling you, if we get audited on that, they're going to have the same thing. We've already been in trouble
So
for
the
that.
audit, as far as conflicts are
This is a committee,
concerned,
Dr. Moore.
is if there is a,
It's just a committee.
this is just a committee. There's nobody getting a special advantage or anything like this, but if anybody has a personal, relationship, they may state so, if you would like them to.
I think that we got caught in our audit about not having some disclosures. I'm trying to help.
And that is why if anybody has any personal relationships that they wish to disclose or that they feel is necessary to disclose, they can do so.
Well,
Okay, so
Dr. Cassani is the president of the Northern Nevada Mental Health Program. We also have our Healthy Smile, Healthy Child program, which we took over from Terry Chandler's Future Smile. There's my disclosure, Dr. Moore.
That's called public health.
I know Carol Soley. I know Lisette because I used to be president.
all the hygienists know each other, Dr. Moore, because we're in the association together. We've all worked with each other. We've all been associates together. Everybody from Northern to Southern, Sarah Mercer, Betty has taught at CSN.
You know what, Rosalie, maybe you can chime in here as to what disclosures are necessary or required for a committee. I do not believe, is there any compensation associated with this committee?
Is there
Or is it volunteer?
People you could have on the committee?
There's no-
Rosalie Cortez here. In general, and I will also say, I guess, general, even if we were dealing with something that wasn't just a committee here, disclosure and abstention has to do with when somebody has a pecuniary interest in the subject that they're making a decision about. So that would mean a financial interest, which in choosing committee members, I don't think is going to exist here at all. Or a private capacity, which is more than a working relationship or a professional relationship. Commitments in private capacity have to do with being a spouse, member of their household, being related, or being business partners, something which would try to obtain pecuniary interest. So just if that helps kind of frame, that's when it's required in general. As for the committee, I think we can kind of discount. I don't think anything in this committee gives anybody a financial interest, even the people being appointed on the committee. So, and as a personal relationship, again, I'm not sure that would apply here, but again, if you require any abstention and disclosure, it has to be a close personal relationship, being colleagues or having a relationship where you work together, members of a similar association that you thrive to that level.
Thank you.
Okay, so, go ahead.
I think Karen Solly knows a lot more about this than the rest of us.
We're inviting all of them
Yeah.
we have put it on record that we are inviting all of the letters that came in. We're inviting them to come to the Committee on the Public Health. We've already talked about that. And then we also are going to, when the Nevada State Oral Health Hygienist position is filled, we're inviting that person also to be on the committee. So everybody is invited on the committee.
But on the committee, we
But
need
you have to
someone
approve-
from
you
the
have to
Hygiene
approve them. You
Association.
have to approve them, not just invite them.
Yeah.
Right,
They
so,
Someone from the
come.
Hygiene Association.
so Dr. Lee, right there.
I agree with the original, the one person, we agree who's left the position, and when they
Right.
fill it,
Right.
it goes on.
Correct.
From
And then
Reno.
the executive director of the dental hygiene
No,
association.
they said
No,
that, no,
no.
they said that probably wasn't the best person.
She's from the
Who did you
South.
say was the better?
Correct.
You can, well, if.
Okay, so let's say it one more time.
Would like,
One
Who's the
person.
president
you.
from up north? Do you know, Terry?
What's that?
Who's the president of the Hygiene Association from the north?
Oh, I don't know who is the
Madam
component
Chair?
president.
Who
You
is
should
it?
address- You should talk to Karen.
Madam Chair, this is Karen Solly, and if I could maybe have a moment to help explain a few things. I know it would be public comment, but maybe it would help clarify some things.
Right. So what we're just trying,
She's
No, so let-
asking
so let her
if she can
talk.
address the board.
oh, okay.
And it's up to you to say yes or no.
Yes.
Thank you. I hope I can help clarify a few things. Number one, at this point in time, the Nevada Dental Hygienists Association does not have an executive director. So we would not be recommending, obviously, an executive director from our association. The northern component which is the northern chapter of our Dental Hygiene Association, is in a state of flux right now and is not in a great place to be able to bring forward maybe some northern names other than Nsbde Van Gilder and myself and Patty Sanford. And I think you've already heard from Nsbde about the three of us. Our incoming president is Jessica Wood, as Ms. Campbell informed you, and she has an extensive background. She will be the president of the State Dental Hygiene Association as of the 19th of October. However, she is out of the country traveling right now, so we were not able to contact her to find out if she would be willing and interested to have us bring her name forward to you. I hope that gives you a little bit of clarification, and I'm happy to help answer some questions if need be.
Thank you.
Yes.
I don't know who to put on this number 8.
7.
Well, 7 is the Nevada Oral Health Hygienist, if we ever get one.
Who made it 8?
And then
Well, I
8 would be
suggested that.
somebody from the Hygiene Association, from up north.
I like 7, lead.
Actually, excuse me again, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think at this point, I would like to take my name off of consideration. This again is Karen Solly. Having been a past board member, and I am on the Dental Hygiene Review Committee, I don't think there would be a conflict of interest, but I have not had as extensive a public health background as Nsbde Van Gilder or Patty Sanford or Ms. Wood.
Okay.
How about Lancet?
That's it. John Gilder.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is Sadler.
She's on the legislative.
I'd like to move that we table this perhaps for the evening until we have a little bit more time to discuss this and, talk to some of the incoming presidents of the Hygiene Association and possible state oral health hygienist that we're talking about. Would be
Right,
a good
so-
idea to table this?
Yeah, Ms. Sandler? So,
Yes.
right,
There's
so
already
with
a
the,
motion and a
There's
second.
already a motion and a second.
there was already a motion and a second to approve the Committee on Public Health, but going back to your,
Excuse me, point of order, move to table supersedes an existing motion that may be on the table. So,
Look at you.
I know, believe me, I know this stuff.
the Nevada State Oral Health Hygienist, it's a state job that's vacant. There's no telling when and when it's going to be filled and if it's going to be filled. We just want to be able to invite that person to come on the Committee of Public Health when it's there. And then to add, when we're talking about the board, Lisette and Jessica Woods to be part of the Committee of Public Health. So that's what we're asking,
Right.
We
okay?
just had a motion to table. Do we have a second for the motion to table?
Second to sign.
That's now the motion in force.
Okay,
You have to, that forces you to take a vote on the table.
So we're
is what
gonna-
That does.
all right. So we're gonna vote to table the approved Committee on Public Health until next meeting.
If you'd like, I can reach out to Lancette,
Mhm,
Ms.
and Jessica
Sanford,
Wood.
and
Mhm.
Jessica Wood to see
And
if they're interested.
And Sanders, perhaps to Dr. Capurro, as she may know where that position is in terms of recruiting currently for the state position.
I can ask her, yeah. I'll reach out to her.
All right, so we're gonna get some more information on that,
There has to be a
We have to
vote.
vote.
and we're gonna vote,
To
to table it. We're gonna vote to table it. Do we have a motion?
You have
It's
to-
already been motioned.
Oh, it's already been motioned.
And seconded.
And second it. Any discussion? All in favor say aye to table it.
Aye.
Aye.
Any, okay, great. Any opposed?
Aye.
You opposed what?
I oppose tabling it.
One.
So it doesn't matter.
She can
Just
vote.
go
Okay,
ahead.
any abstentions? Motion passes to table it. All right, let's go to approve a 2.85% COLA for staff members. This
Hello?
We lost
Hello?
someone.
We lost someone, we lost.
This COLA increase is less
Miss Solly.
1.15% due to increase to PERS and is in accordance with the 2% COLA classified and unclassified employees received in 2017 and 2018, retroactive to July 1st, 2019. This item was addressed on a previous agenda item this evening, going back to staff members. The Budget and Finance recommended the approval of this expense in the proposed budget for fiscal year 2020. So, do we have a motion? I'm getting sleepy. To approve the increase for staff members?
Pate, I move we approve the increase.
Second,
Second, Sanders.
discussion? All in favor say aye.
Oh, that's taking a breath, sorry.
Oh,
Discussion here. And it's gonna sound, everyone's gonna hate me, but I just don't know if we should be approving a increase in budget. I'm sorry, right now, you know, looking at the next year's budget, we're gonna go under, minus, negative. And with such a bad audit we had, right? I just think it would look better if we improved ourselves first and then gave the raise. Would be a little bit nicer, I think. But by just, you know, automatic just giving the raise first without doing any changes in the way we're doing things, I feel it isn't appropriate at the moment, sorry.
Well, I think that, this is Pate speaking. If we've got a giant over budget, if we've got a giant reserve, which doesn't look good for a nonprofit group that we are, we might as well give the money where the people are working, the jobs of several people. And it's already been fit into the budget, there's no financial,
Impact.
yeah, so I
Well,
don't
the
see,
financial impact is we're going negative.
we're already negative, but that's not because,
And the dental board doesn't actually like, we don't like work and make money, we just spend money that are the people who,
we're not working to
Licensees.
make money.
I know.
But you've got to
I
pay
mean,
your
we have some
employees, otherwise they're
fiduciary-
not going to want to
We have
work.
some fiduciary responsibility to the board itself also, don't we? To keep it going? I mean, if
Dr.
we
Lee,
keep spending-
Yes, that's what the reserve is for.
I mean, I'm just sorry, but I mean,
The
that's.
governor approved this, Dr. Lee.
Okay, well.
The governor approved this. It's not something we thought up. Dr. Pisani, where was that, sir? I'm sorry, I missed that.
It was in an assembly bill, you can look it up. It was in an assembly bill in 2017. State classified and unclassified employees got a 2% increase. In 2018, in that same bill, they got another 2% cost of living adjustment. This is a cost of living adjustment. This isn't a raise.
In a raise,
It isn't a raise, it's a cost of living adjustment.
which the people on this board have not had for, what, 4 or 5 years?
Since 2016 was the last increase the board staff has had.
Sanders, call the question.
The employees.
I'm sorry?
Call the question.
Oh, sorry.
Go for the vote.
Go for the vote. Call question, stops the debate, and calls the vote.
All those in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Motion passes with 1 opposed.
Want a roll call?
Roll call, yes.
So this is 5, I'm sorry, Q.
Yep.
And we had a motion by Ms. Pate, seconded by Dr. Sanders. Dr. Pinther,
Yes, motion to approve the 2 Nicola.
okay, Dr. Pinther, yes, okay, Dr. Blasco,
Yes.
Dr. Champagne,
Yes.
Dr. Pisani,
Yes.
Dr. Sanders,
Yes.
Dr. Moore,
Abstain.
On what ground?
Why are you abstaining, Dr. Moore?
I don't have to tell you because you didn't ask Dr. Bosco why he abstained.
Dr. Blasco didn't abstain.
He didn't abstain.
On item I, he abstained.
On item I?
No, I didn't.
No, he
No,
didn't.
he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Oh, Dr. Moore, somebody, Dr. Moore, I, yes. Dr. Moore, you were not, I called that Pisani. That was Pisani that abstained. Healthy Smiles, Healthy Child is my program in Northern Nevada. That's why I abstained. I didn't know I had to explain that to you. I didn't ask you to explain it to me. Did I?
Well,
You
you're
just said-
refusing
Can we
to
just-
explain your abstention
No,
because
no, I
Dr.
didn't.
Pisani didn't explain his abstention, but we were all aware of his.
I'm just, I was following your lead, Dr. Pisani.
No, Dr. Pisani stated that
Following.
conflict, and that's why he abstained. So what's your conflict, Dr. Moore?
My conflict is that I haven't read where the COLA, I'm not educated enough to be able to make that vote.
Okay, well then you can vote no.
We won't be insulted. You can vote no.
I'm sorry?
You have to vote
You
no.
vote no, but you don't have a conflict.
So you're voting no for the staff members that have a COLA increase, correct?
Well, then I'm not going to vote because I disagree with you. I think your definitions of abstention are incorrect.
Okay.
Can you ask the Attorney
Rosalie,
General?
could you please explain again what the abstention is
For
about?
the third time.
Like to look for abstention,
And
if you'd like to look at the ethics rules.
Dr. Moore, Dr. Moore, the AG, Rosalie, is
I was just going to point you when I mentioned the ethics, the rules regarding abstention earlier. I was going to refer to you since you have a question with which statute those rules are found in. It's NRS chapter 284A, subsection 420. Is the main one regarding abstention, and that's in the ethics law. And it's really if you have an ethical reason you need to abstain. Otherwise, if you feel you don't have enough information, then you would be voting that you don't want to approve and vote no.
I voted no.
Okay.
Okay, so Dr. Moore, no. Okay, Dr. Lee?
No, sorry.
That's okay. Ms. Pate?
Yes.
Ms. Bethea?
Oh, Miss Page went to the bathroom. Ooh, it's getting late. Bethea, yes.
Bethea, yes.
Come back to Ms. Payne.
I'll come back, okay. Ms.
Sorry.
Stradler?
Miss.
And Ms. Chofie?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just waiting on Ms. Pate. We're almost there. We're almost to the end. I know, but I'm 10. If you want, we can move on to the next agenda item and come back to Ms. Pate.
Okay. So we're gonna go to item R, approval of Dr. Blasco and Ms. Jones Sadler to the Budget and Finance Committee. The board is having difficulty having quorums for certain committees, so I am suggesting that we have additional board members be added to the Budget and Finance Committee. And I suggest Dr. Blasco, Dr. and Mrs. Sandler to serve on this committee along with Dr. Moore, Ms. Chofie, Dr. Sanders, and myself, Ms. Bethea. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve the Connie.
Second?
Second, Sanders.
Any discussion?
More. Will this affect, when we vote on items, how many of us will still have a quorum?
Yes, it will.
Does the quorum number change when the more people?
A quorum is a majority of the members. So if there's more people, then the majority is more.
Ms. Pate is back.
Just finish this
Wait,
first.
finish this.
Go ahead.
I thought it had a seat to the committee that has 4, that's 6.
What?
Say that one more time, Dr. Moore, you're breaking up.
I thought there were 4 members on the committee already. If we add 2, doesn't that make 6?
Yes.
Yes?
So a quorum will go
Does it have
from
be
3 to
even
4.
numbers, or does it matter even?
Well, I'm talking about when the committee makes recommendations to the board, then the board, will the board still have a quorum with only 5 people?
You can still vote when you're a committee member.
I don't understand.
I'm sorry?
The committee members are not precluded from voting on issues that are brought to the board.
Oh, well, Dr. Sanders and I, abstained on...
You abstained from voting on the applications of anesthesia permit holders because you reviewed those applications independent of the board. And so you abstained for that reason, not
like the
because you're on a
review panel.
committee. It's,
Okay.
because you reviewed the applications and you bring the applications to the board for approval. So it's as if, that's why you abstained.
I understand that. That wasn't my point. I'm saying that if 6 of us abstained because we approved the committee...
No, that's
You don't
not
have
how
to
it works.
abstain. You
don't
can
have
vote
to
as a board
abstain
member.
Just because you're on a committee.
So 6 people are on the committee and 5 left to vote, is that what it is?
No,
No, it has nothing to do with it.
Everybody votes as board
The
members.
committee is supposed to help.
Oh, you don't have to say, okay.
Yeah. All right.
I apologize because I thought Dr. Sanders and I had done that on a different doc. My apologies, folks.
Oh, yeah, no.
Okay, so we're going to go back to the approval of Dr. Blasco and Mrs. Sandler to the Budget and Finance Committee. Sadler. Shadler.
You'll get it.
I'll get it. It's getting midnight. All right. So do we have a motion?
We do.
We already
We
did.
have a
Oh,
segue
did.
discussion.
Does all in favor say aye?
All right.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes.
Go back
Now
to
back
agenda
to
item.
Oh,
Q.
Now we got to go back to Q. Miss Pay is
We did
back.
a roll call.
Oh,
You were not present, so on
I made the
5.
motion, I'm going for a yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Motion passes. Public comment. This public comment period is for any matter that is within the jurisdiction of the public body. No action may be taken upon matter raised during public comment unless the matter itself has been specifically included on the agenda as an action item. The chairperson of the board will impose a limit of 3 minutes. The chairperson may also allow additional time at his or her discretion. Are there any public comments on anyone on the phone right now? Any public comment with any board members?
That's not public comment.
Just a public comment.
Kidding. Terry Chandler.
Just quickly, thank you all. Thank you for the establishment of a public health committee or the consideration of and the inclusion of the oral health programs, public health dental hygienists and the Dental Hygienists Association. We all commend the work that you put into this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Any announcements?
The only thing I have is on the November 1st, I will reach out to the hygienist that we mentioned and also Dr. Kapora and see about that open position with the oral health dental hygienist, and then I will place this before you on November 1st.
Thank you. Any other announcements?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Hey, Pat, I just wanted to apologize again for stating who the abstaining was for. I think I'm setting it up like that, and I apologize again. Thank you.
Thank you.
The meeting has been adjourned officially. Everybody have a nice night. Have a good work.